You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and 70 Mounts to the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Conway, Julian's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Maybe it's not the worst idea to stack things in your favor. Perhaps even turning the tables, turning the screws on Arthur somehow, even if it felt underhanded. But the more you think about it, the more it begins to look the only chance you have. Yes, why not make use of it? Screw his rules. If he isn't playing by them, then why should you try to be honest? You'll have to talk to Perce again. Ew. So that really wasn't very much, so I think we shall pick up Wolf's Path, then. Yes, this will be the first video of Wolf's Path, I guess. So, okay. Let's do that. We will go to... Don't break the silence, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Alrighty. Let's do... Alright, yeah, there we go. Or... maybe not. Okay, let's do this. Because there's some stuff that we can do if we side with Wolf early on, I believe. Alright. We'll side with... no one. Side with Samuel. Okay. Strange as Wolf is, he must have his reasons for caginess. Even if he doesn't, you can hardly blame him for not wanting to deal with Julian. The lizard acts like you're off on some boarding school camping trip, not a proper sailing vessel. At least what you can imagine a camping trip would be like. Something a lot less serious than working aboard the Conway. You do come on a bit strong. Strong, huh? He's being diplomatic. Diplomatic? As in, it's a diplomatic way of saying annoying little shit in the local dialect. Julian looks at you as if expecting further explanation, but if he doesn't understand why his antics has rubbed anyone the wrong way, you doubt you can explain it to him. Finally, he gives up, shoulders slumping in defeat. Fine, fine. He sighs and shakes his head. But he does need to stop being such a grump. Be that as it may, good behavior goes both ways. We're going to be stuck here for a while. You don't have to like each other, but you do have to tolerate each other. I'm trying. Don't make me punch you again, Julian huffs dramatically. Everybody's got their own pasts, their own little quirks and things they don't want to talk about. Things that just can't be left ashore, much as we'd all prefer. And you don't want to start off antagonizing everyone. I'm not trying to antagonize people. Something about the way he responds gives you the impression it's probably a speech the young man has heard once or twice before. Well, in that case, at least try to make your ribbon funny. Just some advice. Oh, of course. There's so many people here I can take pointers from on that one. He shakes his head and keeps a fat and reasonably brave face. Alright, I won't antagonize him. Or you, and you won't punch me again, right? Good lad. Stay on Wolf's good side. Right. Let's go down and wait for dinner. You're hungry, right? Okay. Julian looks at Samuel suspiciously for a few more seconds before giving up. Yes, practically starving now that you mention it. He looks in the direction of the ship's bell, like he could will it to ring sooner. And you haven't even done any work yet. He gives Julian another punch, although this one is much lighter to the other shoulder. Oh, I'm kidding. You should be excited just for once while we're close to port. We'll run out of fresh ingredients quickly, but for now. Oh, I know. Enjoy it while you can. He keeps staring at the bell, though. I plan on it. Who knows when the next good meal will come? Exactly. Bandil is one splendid cook, at least. That man could make salt pork a royal feast if he had to, and he'll come close even for us when it comes to that. I can't wait. I'm sure we'll be eating hardtack soon enough. Well, Bandil could almost make that edible too. He pauses and then shrugs. Almost. Do you know what he's planning? I saw someone from the ship bustling about the shops near the docks. Probably Bandil then, yes. I heard rumors that it would be salmon. Something of a specialty for him. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll never turn down fresh fish. It sounds good to you, too. Even growing up in the harbor town, the best fish was too expensive for a family like yours. From Samuel's hungry expression, Bandil has to be preparing something more exciting than some overboiled stew that barely does more than smell of fish. It does sound good. Can't wait to see what our cook can manage. You'd figured it would be a while before that smell would be appetizing again. In any event, as far as appetite is concerned, you're so thinking about the seasick man. But I want to check on that passenger. Make sure he's not suffering too badly. Sure, suit yourself. Careful by the railings, though. I don't fancy a swim. And his physique doesn't exactly lend itself to the ocean, you suppose, which must be why he ends that in a wry grin. I will be. I'll be down in a moment. Leave some for me, will you? No promises. It'll be your fault for being late anyhow. Despite the ribbing, you're pretty sure Julian and Samuel will ensure you don't go hungry. You watch them make their way across the deck, following Wolf's footsteps and disappearing down into the ship's hull. You ascend the ladder, as Arthur called it, although it's a more narrow staircase, nearly as steep as a ladder, though, and you can't imagine trying to manage it on a rocking deck. The sound of your claws clacking whatever sea legs are, you don't have them yet, announces your presence to the passenger. He turns to face you, and on closer inspection you can see that he's an African wild dog. You've not met many of those before, but the look of his fur is unmistakable. So too are his round ears, and a black muzzle that stands out against his pale fur, with teeth that would be more imposing were they not tightly clenched. Huh? Oh, company. Perhaps. He seems to be over the worst of it, although he flinches with more severe waves. Still, his voice sounds more sure of itself as you near the final step of the ladder. Careful! You freeze and have to put out a hand to catch the railing. Oh, apologies for the outburst. Please do not miss your step, but I think you're about to step on my glasses. You glance down to discover your paw scant centimeters from said glasses, an ornate pair at that. You find better footing and carefully bend down to retrieve them, holding the glasses by the bridge in the middle. So I'll hold them in that case. It's probably safer that way. Thank you. And you wouldn't have wanted to damage them. The frames are thin, but made of gold. They look expensive, aristocratic even. Now that you have a chance to examine him up close, the man himself has a similar sort of bearing. His black suit is fancier than anything else you've seen aboard ship, even from the officers. It would have been out of place ashore too. Even the men who dressed in their Sunday finest for services don't dress like this. His demeanor, though, is hardly so imposing. He stays quiet, and you feel compelled to break the silence. I saw you up there and wanted to know if everything was, well, if there was something the matter. Oh, are you the surgeon? You are not the surgeon, are you? He asks, peering at you without the benefit of his glasses. I'm not. I don't know who the surgeon is, now that you mention it. I came aboard earlier today. It just looked like you were having a bit of a rough time. Well, that was very kind of you to take note in that case. He's still holding the rope tightly, and his ears remain slightly drawn. The whole of his body, indeed, seems to have wilted. You do look a bit under the weather. Do you need help? No. I will be fine, I am sure. It's just seasickness, and that is all. I'm afraid I am not used to this. Well, it can happen to anyone. I wouldn't think anything of it. Really? Because... He shudders and shuts his eyes tightly for a moment, taking deep breaths through his nose before he manages to calm himself down. Because there is certainly some evidence to the contrary, to anyone observing this tableau keenly. Or absence of evidence, if you would rather formulate it that way. What? I am the only one on this ship hanging over the railing, while some... He grimaces, although it seems he's able to recover faster this time. A nice young man holds their glasses. After a moment he tries to smile and succeeds. Mostly. I do appreciate the thought, though. The two of you lapse back into silence while the African wild dog steadies himself again. You find yourself grateful that you're able to enjoy this. For the moment, everything is fairly calm. There is the distant sound of the crew conversing and the creak of the ship's timbers and rigging. The rhythmic splash of waves against the hull as Conway truly gets underway towards her destination. You know it can't last, of course. For now, you're promised a good meal. Everyone is still reasonably clean, spirits are good, and tempers are at a low boil, Wolf accepted. But for now, you enjoy it. You only wish your companion could do the same. Alright, y'all, coffee's finished. Water time. Oh, that's some damn good water. Cherry limeade. You're a passenger, right? One of the other sailors said he'd never seen you before. I am, yes. I suppose I do not much look the part of a sailor either, do I? It was not required for me to travel incognito, and, well, I am fond of these clothes, I admit. Where does... Before you can ask him where he's headed, the painted dog abruptly leans over the railing and throws up again. You think about trying to offer some assistance, even if only a reassuring pat on the arm, before deciding to err on the side of discretion and look the other way. More fond of the clothes than the conveyance. I have already become something of a reluctant passenger, to tell you the truth. I see. It is truly an idyllic scene at which you find yourself gazing. The sky above has taken on the orange tint of brilliant sunset. Some additional sails have been set and rustle with the minutest changes in wind, but until you gain truly open waters, most of them remain furled. The masts and rigging cut sharp black slices through the beckoning glare of sunset. A few gulls have followed the ship out this far. They wheel, nimble, dancing silhouettes above the horizon, and next to you the unfortunate wild dog heaves again. And again. Fortunately, by this point, he seems to have emptied himself completely. He straightens up and tugs his neatly tailored jacket back into place. Dear Lord, I am quite sure by this point nothing is even left. What I would not give for my body to simply... The painted dog pauses, as if considering whether he needs to be sick again. No, I think that is better. What I would not give, I was saying, for my body to simply leave me alone. What do you want to do? Offer some advice. Try looking at the horizon. That should help. Does it? Why would it ever do a thing like that? I'm not sure. I'm not a philosopher or a doctor or whatever you need to be. It seems like he could use some solid counsel, though. You figure it's not worth telling him that that's just a story you heard from some of the old hands in port. I think it helps to remind you that it's just you that's moving, not the whole world. You have something to focus on instead of just the constant, the up and down, up and... Dog holds up a hand to stop you. I understand your meaning. I suppose it can hardly make it any worse, can it? He makes a game attempt at following your advice, putting his hands on the railing and staring landwards. The shore is still visible, black and formless, like the ragged edge of torn paper separating sea and twilight. What a ghastly thing, really. What is? All this water, leaving the land behind. I suppose you would not understand. He laughs. The sound is quiet and rueful. A sailor such as yourself must find it rather curious indeed. No, not at all. It's my first time, actually. Ah, what brought you aboard? You are a passenger, too? He eyes you curiously, but unlike Arthur or Wolfe or Samuel, you don't feel the same kind of judgment. It's a more congenial sort of inquisitiveness. Perhaps he's happy to have something else to think about. No, I'm part of the crew. I just joined today. They call me a landsman, which I suppose is a sort of rank. You shrug, self-deprecating. The newness of the experience is something the two of you share, after all. Or it's just the polite form of what they'll call me when I can't desert. It must be exciting. I hope it is, at least, to be giving up your home like this. It is. It still is, I mean. It doesn't quite seem real. I've always dreamt of seeing my hometown disappear, and now... The call of the unknown. An adventuresome spirit. Maybe, yes. I wanted to see something new. Something I'd never find on the homestead. I'm just not sure just what yet, but... You will find it, I'm sure. Doesn't sound naive. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. This is the first step in Wolf's Path. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. Ooh, excuse me. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our unsafe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!